this is almost the last little point in time that you can really have a major course correction and for it to really make material sense. So Kevin, how you been lately?
Excellent. How about yourself?
It's good.
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 Fall's right around the corner. Things are cooling off. It's a little more comfortable to sleep, right? Don't have to run the air conditioning
Absolutely.
24/7.
I just like the temperature dipping down at night too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you keep it cold.
Yeah, well, and there be some times at night where I have to go take the trash out. I want to go for a walk. I'm like, what the heck? It's still like 80 degrees out. It's still 75 degrees out.
Yep.
Looking for a little bit of relief at night.
Absolutely. Yep. I've been cracking the windows open and enjoying it.
Are you a pumpkin spice kind of guy?
No,
Or do
I'm
you
not a pumpkin anything.
Pumpkin
I'm
anything?
Not, no.
How about apple cider?
Love it. Apple cider with apple cider donuts. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Baines Apple Valley, is that the right name?
Sure, yeah.
Love
Baines
their
is
stuff.
terrific. Yeah.
Love their stuff. Make the trip
Or you
out
go
there.
to Grandma's and you get the fresh cooked ones. Have you ever had those? The fresh
No,
baked?
they sound good though.
Yeah, fresh
I think I've
baked,
seen them.
warm.
I think I've smelled them, but
Yeah, they're good.
Oh my gosh, bring back all the good fall memories now.
One of my downfalls, donuts. What can I say? Yeah.
Hey, they're good.
Yep.
They're really good, nutritious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know where it falls in
There's
that
apples in them, right?
Yeah, I don't know where it falls in that pyramid, right? But
Yeah.
I've heard some people throw some shade at the pyramid before, so
Yeah.
maybe it should belong in there too. So
Yeah.
I imagine though, over time, throughout your life, you'll probably learn some goods and some don'ts, and eventually work your way to midlife, right?
Sure. Exactly. It's a great segue too. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about that one on the fly right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
besides the point, though, we're here to not only chat about donuts today, but here to go chat about midlife crisis.
Which, by the way, just going back to donuts real quick.
Yeah.
The kids love donuts. I love donuts. Jody loves donuts. If you know of a great donut shop, I want to hear about it. So send us your donut ideas, your donut shop ideas, and I'll stop in. When we were in Chicago recently, we stopped in Culver City.
Okay.
Amazing donuts. I can't remember the name of the shop right now. If you're interested, reach out and I'll look it up and let you know.
Do some
But
digging. Yeah.
Fantastic donuts. Culver City, Illinois, just outside Chicago.
So I know we just talked about apple cider donuts.
Yeah.
How about local, regular donut places, donut shops? Where do you
Yeah.
like to go shop before we dive too deep into the episode?
So within 45-mile radius, I'll say. You got Cops and Donuts, which is good.
Love them.
Donna's Donuts in Flint. Bristol Road. It's a 5-minute jaunt off the highway if you're going down 75. You head east a couple miles.
Sure.
Fantastic donuts.
This is going to be a terrible explainer, but there used to be, when I was still working in Saginaw with TriStar, there was a place that was closer to downtown. It was a really, really, really old family-run shop. Had to shut down a year. Love their stuff.
Yeah, Hamilton was fantastic.
So good.
And actually, it reminds me of this time of year because we would go to my mother-in-law's for Halloween, and she would have like 2 or 3 boxes of Hamilton donuts. And they were really unique. They were very different, which is kind of tough because you don't often find like unique donuts.
Oh, no, not at all. But I think, at least for myself, why I'm not in the food business.
Yeah.
My imagination can only go so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, going back now, segueing back, our topic of conversation today about midlife crisis. A lot of stuff going on, and tying a little bit into the episode that we had last week.
Yeah.
About really trying to think about, am I ready to go retire? When you think about whether you're ready for retirement, midlife crisis, personal finance, it finds its way to go weave into any part of your life.
Oh, absolutely. But I think to your point, and with regards to midlife, I'm not going to call it crisis because I might be in midlife, right? I might fit into this demographic here. I don't feel like I'm in crisis, but sometimes your finances can feel like crisis mode, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Particularly after, what we experienced through COVID and with high inflation, and the cost of things just seems to be extraordinary. And it just seems like every time you turn around, there's another expense. And
of course,
as your kids get older, they definitely get a lot more expensive. You're going to find that out yourself here as time goes on. So,
well, just doing some research for this episode today. I mean, when people think like the midlife crisis, you think of the guy buying the sports car, the convertible, drop the top. You're going down Main Street, the wind going through your hair. Hopefully by yeah. I'm hoping, knock on wood, there's still some hair follicles left up there. But I mean, that's what people typically think. But doing some research in the episode, I mean, not only could it be a number of things, whether it's, okay, I got retirement, 10 to 15 years away. How can I help prepare? Because time is usually your ally, but 10 to 15 years out, you might not have a lot of runway. You're being pinched possibly by both sides, by younger kids, by older family members. And so there's a lot of things going on here.
Absolutely. And I think that's probably the theme, right? When you get to midlife, there is a lot going on. I know I've experienced it where, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and my father passed at Christmas time. He was 85 years old. My mom's 82, right? So, and they don't need like financial support from me, but they do need, and frankly, I love to provide them support, if you want to call it that, right? But I love to spend time with my mom. I just went to the to Chippewa Nature Center on Sunday night to the full moon stroll with her. So trying to take advantage of all those moments. But yeah, there's no doubt there's that sandwich feeling there where I'm feeling stretched and pulled in different directions for different reasons.
Yeah. And everybody on the planet only has 24 hours per day to go try and go deal with stuff. So think about work, think about sleep. You're only left with 8 hours per day trying to go jam every last little thing in there.
Yeah.
Your brain can be an overload.
Yeah. And at the same time, trying to enjoy your time. Right.
Seriously.
So,
yeah.
I enjoy thank God, I love what I do for a living. So it doesn't necessarily feel like work all the time. I do enjoy it. So, but yeah, there's only so much time in a day. So,
of course. Yeah.
So we've got a scenario here. Okay. And it feels eerily familiar to me. Okay. But I'm going to go through it.
Okay.
So picture this: you're 48 years old. This might have a twinge of like
a little bit
similarity to me. But let's call him gentleman is 48 years old. He's sitting at the kitchen table. Got college tuition bills, got auto insurance, just went up 40% last year. Everything seems incredibly expensive. Just when you think you're catching up, you get another $500 bill for something in the mail. Let's say it's your auto registrations, right? Which you've got 3 of because you got a kid driving. You need new tires. Your iCloud storage is full again, right? So you got to upgrade to 2 terabytes at this point. And you're contemplating, let's say, spending $350 annually for the Red Zone so that you can watch all the NFL games, right? Yeah. So that, in a nutshell, start asking yourself, am I saving enough? Am I doing enough in my 401k? Am I putting enough away into the 529s for the kids to help them with college? And you ask yourself, hey, am I doing enough? Am I falling behind, or have I fallen behind? And is it too late for me to catch up? So that's the midlife money squeeze, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Some folks are feeling.
Yeah, I mean, think about just from the surprise bill perspective too. I mean, you can be thinking about, I thought about this the other day. I'm like, man, this has been a, pretty decent year for bills. But then I started to think about my car. I'm like, ooh, it's been 3 or 4 years since I replaced my battery. Got car tires coming up. And, you know, those are expenses that you need to go spend. It's not like you can really go defray the cost of those necessarily. And so in that exact example, I'm sure there's possibly millions of people that could really fall into that bucket.
And the tough thing with those kind of expenses is you don't always budget for them.
No,
right? Like they're not in your daily or your monthly budget, your weekly budget.
It's out of sight, out of mind. All of a sudden, ooh, man, low tire pressure.
Right. So you have like this miscellaneous category, which, by the way, I absolutely hate because I want things to line up.
Oh,
right.
Every last penny.
But you just can't. There's this miscellaneous category that seems to each month grow. Right. Maybe it starts when you're younger at $200 a month or something, and next thing you know, you're in this sort of midlife part of your life, and it's suddenly $1,000, maybe even a couple $1,000 of just, hey, here's another bill that you got. And then healthcare on top of all those things.
And I can only imagine for people within that, that target demographic, because this is almost the last little point in time that you can really have a major course correction and for it to really make material sense. Because, and don't get me wrong, could you start saving a lot of money 5 years before retirement? Absolutely. But a lot can happen in markets over 5-10 years. And so you always want to give yourself as much of a runway as you can, but it's the last real point in time.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. The thing I think people need to take away from this conversation, though, is it's not all doom and gloom, right? There's time. When we talk about midlife, we're talking about the ages basically 40 to 60, which is a pretty big range, right? Early midlife to later midlife. There's still time to correct, right? So I think don't look in the rearview mirror, right? Don't worry about maybe what you didn't do or how you didn't do things correctly. When you were 35 years old or something of that nature, right? Today, it is what it is. You're in the position that you're in, and you got to sit down and come up with a plan to improve things going forward.
Yeah. Whether it's increasing savings rate, whether it's thinking about other, if you are starting to go accumulate more money, want to retire early, okay, well, if it's before 59 and a half, maybe thinking about some taxable money strategies too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Doing some Roth conversions or whatever might be out there for you.
Paying down some debt too. I know that when a lot of people reach retirement, a big goal for so many people is, you're living off fixed income right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully that can accelerate with inflation too, but maybe trying to eliminate more of that debt as well.
Well, I think to your point, right, and I know we've probably talked about this a number of times, right? It's as simple as inflows and outflows. How much money are you bringing in and how much is going out, right? At the end of the day, that's how simple, when it comes down to numbers, that's how simple it is from a planning perspective. So yeah, you got to make sure that you've got a budget that you can stick to. The thing is, in today's world, like I'll speak for myself in particular, when you have a 30-year mortgage at 2.375%, right? I'm not in any rush to pay that off.
No,
right?
Not at all.
So I think it's different for everyone, right? Depending on the rates that you have on your debt. Because that's one in particular, if someone came to me and said, hey, I've got this, I'm 10 years into a 30-year mortgage at 2.375. What should I do? I'd say hang on to that debt as long as you can because it's
the cost to maintain, it's virtually nothing.
You're right.
I mean, as I go think about if you should go pay down 2%, 3%, 4 or 5, I go take a look at that. Okay, think about that as your rate of return that you'd make off really paying off that money. And so to be able to go pay off debt at 8, 9, 10%, absolutely, because on a yearly basis, annualized, that can certainly mean a lot of money, of money interest. But at 2%, that's virtually, I'm not going to go say it's not non-material. But
right. And it's a big debt. Let's be honest. From a cash flow perspective, your mortgage is probably more than likely going to be the highest impact on your cash flow.
Of course. And, correct me if I'm wrong too, but I know we laminated the 40 to 60 time frame, but let's go think about that 50 to 60.
Sure.
I'd almost say it's the most powerful decade.
Oh, absolutely. That's the time. You still have time to course correct, right? There's still an opportunity to do so. In fact, even at 60, right? I don't want to give folks that are maybe 61 listening or watching the impression that it's too late, it's over, right?
Like,
there's nothing you
give
can
up.
do, right? I think hopefully, and we talk about this ad nauseum, but you gotta seek out a planner, seek out advice, right? It's never too late to correct and to do something different. But the earlier you start, the better, right? And the easier the correction is going to be. The later you try to correct, the more challenging it's going to be for you.
No, of course. I mean, when you think about it from that timing perspective, why not give yourself more time to go develop that plan? Really think about what retirement could look like for you too. Because just think about it from a life perspective too. Imagine that you want to go spend $2,000, $2,500 a month, but you take a trip 5, 6 years later after the plan, you're like, oh my goodness. I love Hilton Head, South Carolina. I love this golf course. I love this golf course. I want a membership here, membership there.
Yeah.
That budget. How am I going to go make that work and stretch? Hey, get yourself some more time.
Yeah.
Maybe you service that debt longer. Let's just go pretend you have a long mortgage out there. Allocate less money to A, put it more into B.
Sure.
Maybe some golf memberships. I don't know.
Yep. And I think to your point, right, it's also you have to be careful that you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Are you willing to sacrifice some comfort or a vacation here and there today to give yourself freedom?
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's tough though, because I know I talk to clients about this and I hear about it quite frequently, right? When you're looking around you and saying, how are these, how many, Suburbans or Tahoes do you see on the road? These vehicles run between $75,000 and $90,000+ a year.
That's almost $1,000 per month in car payments,
if not more. Absolutely. Yeah. So you have to, just be yourself, right? Live within your means. Try to not get too envious or think that everybody else has it better than you because they might be sacrificing tomorrow to live a
that reminds me of a super, super interesting book that I read when I was just getting into the industry, The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas Stanley. You ever read it?
I've read pieces of it. The one takeaway that I have from it is what the millionaire next door, the average vehicle they drive.
I was just
is
going to
like
bring that up.
A 12-year-old Honda Accord, right?
Say it again.
12-year-old Honda Accord. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So what did I buy Nico when he was just before he
Honda
turned
Accord.
16? A 12-year-old Honda Accord. He hated it. Jody hated it. So we didn't keep it too long. We had it for a couple of years there. But yeah, absolutely. Follow what works.
Seriously. And if you go take a look at what those most successful habits are. So it's a great book. Again, if anyone's interested, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. It first came out in 1997. There was a revision sometime 10, 15 years later. But again, just taking a look at that vehicle section, if you go look at, so that was number one. Numbers 1 through 10, they're all used cars.
Right.
They're all very, very consumer friendly. I mean, this is nothing against those Porsches. This is nothing against, your very fancy brand new Lexus SUV, but they have good money habits they establish early on, and they keep them through their entire life.
Right. And they sacrifice a bit today. Now, the other thing I will say, though, just to finish that thought first, but they sacrifice today for a better tomorrow, right? Or for a more financially free tomorrow. I will also say you have to be careful because I've seen both ends of the spectrum where folks haven't saved and don't save at all, and they get themselves backed into a corner. I've also seen where folks save too much.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And it depends, I guess, on what your goals are. If you're looking to pass along a fortune to your children so that they can live comfortably, then hey, to each their own, right? But for me, at least, you do have to have a balance so that you're loving your life, right? You get one shot at this. So take advantage of it. Do the things and try to do the things that you love and keep it within financial reason.
So let's go paint like a simple example. So let's just go pretend that your monthly retirement budget is $2,000 per month.
Sure.
Of course, some people might want some margins of error.
Yeah.
And so 2 questions. What would you say is like you're trying to target $2,000 a month. What would you say is like a good margin of error? Like maybe people might want to go save up to $2,500 a month. And then in relation to that as well, as a second part to the question, what would you say is like too much money to go budget? Just so the listeners, viewers, anyone out there can get like a decent picture of like, okay, this is good. This is still good. But over here, you might be leaving some life on the table.
I think, and I do feel like a broken record. You got to build a plan because it's different for everybody.
Sure.
Right. $2,500 might be enough, and it is enough for some families.
Absolutely.
I've worked with people where $2,500 enough a month meets all of their financial needs, right? I've worked with other people that, let's say, $25,000 a month doesn't meet their financial needs, right? So it's very different targets. The number can look exceptionally different in terms of what someone needs to save. If you only need $2,500 a month, probably having $1 million on the sideline is much more than you need, right? Whereas if you need $25,000 a month, you're going to need,
Every dime.
You're going to need a lot of money in the invested in order to generate that kind of income to afford you that kind of lifestyle. Yep. So
no, in relation to, so I appreciate you mentioning that. In relation to that as well, what I feel like some people might discount too is they end up picking up a lot of those nickel and dime subscriptions.
Absolutely.
And over time, it just over time, it just snowballs. Right.
I hate this stuff. You ask the kids, ask Jody about this. I hate the nickel and dime stuff because you say to yourself, let's say it's a Paramount Plus subscription, right? And let's just say it's $15 a month.
It's only $15 a month.
I should be able to afford $15 a month, right? I mean, I do well enough that $15 a month should be fine. Well, then you take that, you add back that iCloud storage I was talking about earlier. That's $10 a month. Okay. You throw in Prime at, let's call it $10 a month on top of that. You throw in Netflix at $17.99 on top of that. You throw in cable. On and on and on and on. And these little $5, $10, $15, $20 subscriptions suddenly add up to hundreds of dollars a month. And I've worked with people when I've sat down with them and said, well, what can we afford to go without? Or is there a more efficient way?
Sure.
Maybe you cutting the cord made sense 10 years ago. I did it 10 plus years ago, and it made a lot of sense. Today, it's a little bit different, right? Maybe a YouTube TV subscription makes more sense than all these separate a la carte subscriptions.
Sure.
Maybe you'll actually save money and get a better experience. Who knows?
Crazy to go think. I've seen the meme go out there a ton lately where it's almost like that cable bundle really doesn't seem so bad anymore.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Don't get me wrong. There's still the selection. Are there free streaming services? Absolutely. But it's all paywall behind stuff. And so like I have a good show on Paramount. I have shows on Prime that I
Yeah.
like. And so it's tough.
And you have to imagine organizations like the NFL, right? It almost seems like all of these providers are conspiring together to say like, okay, I'll take YouTube. I'll take one game. I'll take Sunday night. And then Amazon's going to say, I'll take Thursday night.
And Netflix
and
too,
NBC's going to
right?
say,
Yeah.
I'll take Sunday AFC. And Fox is going to say, I'll take Sunday's NFC. And suddenly you need 6 different subscriptions, or you got to buy the Red Zone like I was talking about to watch all that
And
football.
hey, nickel, dime, nickel, dime,
Yeah.
nickel, dime. And imagine for a second you're going to retirement. You're like, I don't need $500 worth of stuff.
Right.
Hey, maybe you cut that 500 down to 100, $400 a month. You maybe want to go live life.
Yeah.
More money, bigger chunk of change. Go throw out a monthly payment.
Yeah,
Go for a
absolutely.
new boat. Go for a golf membership too.
Budgeting, planning, those for me are probably the most important things.
It all adds up too.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes almost to my detriment too, because sometimes this is gonna sound bad, but if I'm in the drive-through line, I'm looking to go order, I'm like, do I really want that more expensive item for $3 or for $3 more than this wrap? Like, so
Right.
McDonald's, like, it's like a snack wrap, or like maybe I get the McStrips. I think
Okay.
the new chicken strips or whatever.
Okay.
And so snack wraps, I think like $3, great deal. The strips, still a great deal at $6. I'm like,
Yeah.
going back and forth.
Yeah.
When in all reality, the $3 won't probably make
Yeah.
too much material difference.
I struggle over 75 cents sometimes.
Oh, gosh.
So Sam
Make me
likes
feel better.
tacos from Taco Bell, but he
Okay.
likes sour cream on them. You know how much they charge you to put sour cream on a taco?
No,
75 cents.
that's
Just for a little dollop of sour cream on a taco. I have a really tough time, even though it's just 75 cents. I have a really tough time with that. I'm like, Sam, we're right around the corner from home. There's sour
Just
cream in the fridge, right?
Sour
It's
cream.
free. I mean, I paid $4 for it at the store, but yeah, anyhow.
I used to hear all the time. A couple friends in college, they would get slices of cheese on their burger, or extra cheese on their burger, or other
Sure.
miscellaneous items at McDonald's. That thing
Yeah.
would almost be 75 cents itself.
Yeah.
For a slice of cheese.
Right. Yeah.
Circle back home, fellas.
And keep in mind, hey,
Yeah.
Midlife again. I used to pay 39 cents for cheeseburgers at Hot and Now. So adding 75 cents just for some sour cream just feels ridiculous. So
I feel the same, man. I feel the same. Like, I'm having some of those moments myself. I remember one time there's a takeout place here in Midland where my go-to meal, myself and Rose, it used to be 17, $18 in high school.
Yeah.
Same meal now, $35.
sure. You know, another thing I was reading about too is what's called lifestyle creep,
Oh yeah.
right? And
oh
it's you earn more money,
Mm-hmm.
you just find a way to spend it.
Yeah.
Right? So something you can do to course correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is, hey, enjoy it. Have a balance. Let's say you got a bonus. Let's say it's a $5,000 bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you save half of it? Can you save even 1,000 of it, and you know, take the family on a vacation with the
Sure,
other?
sure.
But
Yeah.
can you do things just a little bit differently? Increase your savings a bit. Still enjoy yourself. Have a good balance, but course correct and not allow those bonuses to just go flying out the window.
How do you think for people who are in the situation, they might have some kids that are about to go off to college, and they're really trying to counterbalance retirement on one side, but then on the flip side of it, college costs.
Yeah. You're
College
speaking my
tuition.
language. This is exactly the situation that I'm in right now. I think I want to help my kids as absolutely as much as I can, and if I can get them through college debt free, I'll feel great about that. Right.
Sure.
At the same time, you cannot sacrifice your own financial future, your own retirement for your child. You know, at some point, your children are going to have to grow up and take care of themselves, and college costs are just a lot different today than they were when I was going through school, right? It wasn't so challenging to put a kid through school 30 years ago, where today, you know, I'm looking at even in-state schools, probably on the low end, $120,000 if they can get through it in 4 years.
That's
Right? I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
Imagine buying a $120,000 car with a
Seriously.
4-year loan, right? And then doing that, if you have 3 kids, doing it 4 years, then buying another $120,000.
That's a variable
car,
cost.
Then buying
Yeah.
another $120,000 car. So, you know, hopefully the return on investment is there for them.
of course.
And I'm optimistic about that for them. They're good kids. They do, and I'm hoping for them to do great things. But I can't. Sorry, guys, I can't completely sacrifice my financial future for them.
No, that's fine. No, that makes complete sense. And so as you think about obviously, okay, that's the college side of things. That's retirement. For those people, midlife crisis, what are some of the tips that you've helped advise clients upon as you think about, all right, let's get a huddle together. Let's think about ways that can really maximize these last 5 and 10 years, really supercharge.
Sure. I think making systematic contributions to an account, right? So before it even hits your bank account, can you have a portion of your paycheck redirected
I'm such a
into
fan.
like a brokerage account and get it invested, right? Similar to what you would do with your 401k, but you're doing this in a taxable account. What most people will find is once they set that up, let's say it's $250,000. I had one client at one point that did. Now, granted, they were quite successful, but they did over $10,000 a month. A little bit later in life, and once they did it, they didn't miss it.
Sure.
Now, for some folks, it might be $100, but start somewhere, right? You got to stop procrastinating. If you know you're not on the right path or you're off course right now, you got to do something a little bit different, even if it's $50 a month, right? Or $25 a paycheck, whatever it is. Just making a step in the right direction and understanding too. And I tell this to folks because I don't want them to feel like they're the only ones or that they're alone. Absolutely not. A lot of people I talk to that have good income, right? And they have children and they're taking care of their homes and their families and whatnot. They're doing well and they're frustrated because they're basically they're living paycheck to paycheck. You're not alone if you're in that position. You're making a good income. You've worked really hard. You feel like you should be getting more for your money. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that are in those positions. So I'm going to say it again. Get a plan in place. Get a budget.
Get a plan.
And see what you can do without little by little.
How have you approached a conversation with people? Let's just go pretend couple A, husband, wife. As they're thinking about their whole life, they've always wanted to retire at 60.
Yeah.
And let's just go say the difference between retiring at 60 or 62 is monumental. How would you go about thinking about bringing up a new retirement age? Because, of course, if you can also delay retirement by a couple of years, too, allow money to compound further, that could also be a big benefit for some people.
Huge benefit. This is a really tough one because some people, unfortunately, hate their jobs.
Yeah.
Right? And they just want to leave. And again, we get one shot at this, right? At this life. And so, again, there's a balance there. So maybe you look at the end of the day, you look at the numbers or you talk about their goals, right? You try to reframe things for them. Like, hey, in retirement, you told me that you'd like to spend a couple of months a year in Florida. Maybe it's in January and February, right? With the course you're on today, I can get you 2 weeks in Florida based on what you saved today. If you're able to work just another 18 or 24 months, I can get you 6, right? So
it's such a good way to think about it.
You have to reframe things. Stop talking numbers because numbers are meaninless if they don't have something tied, some goal or some dream or some wish attached to it, right? So you have to think about things in terms of like benefit as opposed to like a dollar amount. That's why I've talked about this before. I hated those ING commercials that had the number over somebody's head.
Sure.
I hated that because I don't know. Retirement life is not about a number. It's about achieving goals, making memories, enjoying yourself, right? It's about very different things. So I think if I was able to speak to them, go back in time, I'd say, why not put a beach house and I don't know, a ski chalet right above their head as opposed to a number, because those are really what the impact.
Those are the
things.
memories.
Exactly.
What you're saving for. I mean, what you really ultimately want to go do with your life. And for a lot of people too, they don't really have the time or the means for a lot of their time on earth to really go about achieving those, experiencing those things. And so I think that's, sounds like $1 million commercial idea.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd say, and this is also really tough, because Jody and I have been through like the Dave Ramsey workshops before. And it seems like in every household you have a saver and a spender, and that's their belief and what they share. It's definitely true in my household. Although I'm not like a total saver, right? Like I've talked about, I enjoy making memories.
Yeah, of course.
But you got to do your best to get on the same page with your spouse or your partner. And one of the spender is generally not going to want to sit down and have this conversation, right? I mean, this is me, again, bringing another spreadsheet to the table, right? And it's about trying to figure out, and maybe, there is something like a Dave Ramsey that can be helpful for a couple that really wants to get things on track. But working as a team, getting together, working through the budget, and not just today's budget, but future budget, right?
Sure.
What can you do between now and retirement to bring costs down or to increase savings? Because again, end of the day, inflows and outflows.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic.
I know one thing that a lot of retired couples do as they think about, all right, I want to retire next 3-4 years, making some small house updates, renovations, because a lot of people probably, now, unfortunately, this has two sides and effects, right? With COVID happening, there being so much less of an inventory for housing out there, whether you're in Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, further south, further north, housing prices have gone up quite significantly for a lot of people. I mean, sometimes doubling depending on where that base was. And so some people might be pleasantly surprised that that's a really big part of their asset because, imagine you buy it 20 years ago, 100,000, that house might be worth 250, 300,000. And thinking about your future budgets and costs, all right, if we could downsize half the home, let's just go say, for instance, taxes are maybe cut in half.
Sure.
Maintenance expenses cut in half, but then having a windfall of cash too.
Yeah.
Could be a huge avenue.
And so the important point that you're making here is what if scenarios, right? And this plays a huge role in financial planning. And again, how many times have I said financial planning at this point?
But so true.
But you got to run through all these what if scenarios. And in working with clients, sometimes we'll have 15 different what if scenarios. What if you retire at this point? What if you did downsize at some point in time? What if you wanted to rent for 1 month versus 2 months in Florida? What if? And then you can say, what if you did these 5 things? And how does that affect your probability of having a successful retirement? And it's just really important to take the time to sit down, to make a plan. I can't express enough how important financial planning is, right? Without a plan, you plan to fail. I'm sure you've heard that before.
I've never heard that, but that's really good. And then, going upon that point, those are some of my favorite meetings to attend at TriStar because sometimes when you're going about these different what if scenarios, you're really trying to help put the client at ease because their whole life accumulation before you start decumulating, spending some of that cash, and seeing someone's stress level just really melts away. Sometimes just seeing like a quick little quiver of a smile, like a big smile, like finally realizing this is all making sense. Like really seeing like the clouds part. It's one of the best experiences.
There's no better feeling than sitting down with someone who's in this situation. They just don't know. For whatever reason, either they've been too busy to start planning, or they've been afraid to start planning because they just, sort of didn't want to think about it because they thought they weren't ready. No better feeling than working through with someone and saying, hey, if you can do these couple of things, we can help you get there, right? At the same time, I will say, it's never a great feeling when you sit down with someone and they're not ready. And they're maybe in their early to mid 60s and they want to retire, and you have to have a tough conversation to say, I know you have these dreams and wants and wishes, but we're going to have to take a step back and maybe talk about working in retirement or working longer or whatever it may be. But I think in all those cases, had those folks spoken with us, 5, 10, 15
way different
years
way
earlier,
different scenario.
We could have changed the course of things for them.
That's incredible to mention that. So as for some calls to action or some parting advice, what do you have to say?
So I'd say 2 things. Right now, it's halftime, right? If you're falling into that, if you're falling into this midlife money situation, right? I think about, for instance, I don't like the Minnesota Vikings, right? I'm a Detroit Lions fan.
Let's see where this goes.
But I think about J.J. McCarthy over the weekend. I don't know if you've seen any of the video or the things he was saying in the huddle to his teammates at half. It's really inspiring. Of course, I'm a Michigan fan, so I thought it was fantastic watching and listening to him. But they were getting their butts kicked, right? They were getting it handed to them before halftime. They go in at halftime. They change course, right? They come out. He comes back, rallies the troops, and they win the game, right?
That's incredible.
So that's what you're looking at right now. Another example might be Beyonce, right?
Okay.
So Beyonce's almost 45 years old, right?
Okay. Yeah.
She had, she's known for Destiny's Child and a certain career up to an age, and then suddenly she has her Renaissance tour, right, and changes things and goes in a completely different direction. I read, I think that tour made almost $1 billion.
Incredible.
So, but just a little bit of a tweak, a little change, right? And rather than, getting worried about midlife, you haven't done enough, being able to pivot, make a quick change, and have a renaissance of your own. So it's not too late. There's definitely an opportunity, and there's time for you to course correct and get things back on track. So don't panic. Don't procrastinate, right? Procrastinating could be one of the worst things you could do is doing nothing. Stop worrying about what you did wrong in the past. It is what it is. And just look forward. Stop looking in the rearview mirror. Look forward. Talk with a planner, right? Work on a budget. By the way, I've been working on a phenomenal new worksheet. That I'm about to release to our financial planning team. And that I really think, I know for me, and I would love to share it with some folks out there because I'd love to get your feedback on it. To see if it's helpful to you. So if you're interested, I'd be happy to send it to you and get your thoughts on it. But it goes through basically your spending habits, tracks everything against goals. And I know there's a lot of different websites and things out there. But again, we talked about subscriptions and $10, $5, $10, $15 a month. I'm trying to avoid that. So I worked very closely with my buddy Chat, and we've been building out a spreadsheet that I'm pretty proud of. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
And just to make sure everyone listening out there, if anyone's listening out there wants a spreadsheet, hey, get in contact with Kevin.
Yep, absolutely.
So if people want a little bit of stress relief between thinking about what they might be doing 5, 10, 15 years from now, watching something probably comes top of mind.
Sure.
And so, Kevin, do you have any recommendations? What have you been watching?
I love Department Q.
I've heard that
is
from
on
a couple
Netflix.
people.
Is fantastic. Yeah, like a detective series. I think there's 9 episodes.
Does it have the British swing to it? Yeah,
absolutely. And it's already been renewed for a 2nd season. I love it.
Even better.
What I'm waiting to see, as you know, boys and I love to see horror films.
Okay,
we're gonna go see The Conjuring, the new Conjuring.
I had
film.
no idea there's even a new one coming out.
Oh yeah, it's brand new.
That's crazy.
People are getting blessed in their seats before they watch it because I guess it's pretty scary, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it.
Good for you guys. I think that's the one genre of film that I cannot watch.
Okay.
I don't know what it's not so much like the surprising gotcha, just something creeps me out too much.
You get tense, right? You get all
yeah. I feel like for some people that's the allure for going.
Yeah.
For me, I'm rewatching an old recommendation from I think it was last year, so Shogun.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking.
It was on Hulu, FX. I think you might be able to go find on Disney now. Yeah. Rewatching some of that, just incredible acting, and I think always too, just being able to go through a rewatch, knowing somewhat what's going to happen, but then being able to to really pay attention, like those fine details you might have forgotten about, which I love doing. And it's not too often I rewatch series or things.
Did
like
you
that.
watch the whole series and you're rewatching it completely?
Oh yeah.
Now? Okay. So there are movies and shows that I will rewatch, but there's so much today that I almost feel guilty rewatching something because I know I'm not watching something else.
I feel bad saying this, but I was trying to find something new and I saw Shogun. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of cool to go rewatch. And so,
hey, teach their own. Yeah.
I think it might have come out at the beginning of 2024.
Okay. What are you looking forward to? Is there something that you really want to see?
Well, we talked about this last time. So Landman comes out back in November. Yeah. That's going to be a good season 2 with Taylor Sheridan, of course, directing, producing. Maybe he makes a star cameo in the show. Not really sure. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a spoiler or anything like that. I have no idea if he does, but I know that he has reprised some roles in some of the Yellowstone films and that kind of genre.
Yep.
Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa King, I think is going to come out with their season 3, right?
Wow.
Season 3?
I've never watched it.
That's also really good too. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone's been a phenomenal actor. So got a couple in the hopper.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, with that being said, thank you everyone again for listening, watching to another great episode of Mitten Money. Until next time, thank you.